it'll take a second to come. Oh, it says we're live, but we'll see how live we are on YouTube. So hang on a minute. I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Hello, everyone. Just wait for this to go live. This might be my video. So there we go. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dolo Digs. We have a live chat with Corey from Vanishing Point Records. I'll wait till people start coming into the chat. And I see that we've got 5. That's probably me, you. Oh, I see. Hey, Martha, Vintage Conversation is here. Thank you for stopping in. That's Jazdia. Hi, Jazdia. Thanks for coming. Y'all, we're going to talk records today with Corey and just wait for a few more people to come in because he don't want to tell his story all over again. He's going to tell it once.
No, absolutely not. And first of all, nice T-shirt, Dolores.
Thank you for my Vanishing Point Records T-shirt. Yeah, represent Chesterfield, y'all.
Absolutely. Good choice.
There's Michelle. Hey, Michelle. How are you? That's Newton's cupboard. So, yeah, so we'll wait for a few more people to come in. How has your day been so far, Corey?
Really good. I've had a good couple of days. Really busy day in the store today. And then last night I went to my first, I'm going to call it a post-COVID gig. My first gig watching my friend Josh in Derby. Really good to be back, seeing some live music again. So, yeah. And then earlier on in the day, went for, I think it was about a 20-mile hike as well. So,
oh my
tired.
God.
I'm tired, but it's good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good to get out there in the fresh air. I wouldn't.
Really is. Really is. Peak District. It's right on the doorstep. We need to get out there and use it.
We do live in a beautiful area. Michelle said we can start now. She's a favorite. I see Deborah. Hey, Deborah. Thanks for stopping by. And so, yeah. And Pat. Hi, Pat. Robinson. Thanks for stopping by.
Hi, everybody.
Vintage Conversation said, that's Martha. She said, oh, you brought us another beautiful accent.
I just saw that and I like that comment a lot. I like that comment a lot.
He's, oh, y'all giving him a big head now. Or ain't gonna go to sleep now,
is it a nice accent? Though I've never really considered that the Midlands, kind of North Midlands accent as a nice accent. Is it nice? I don't know.
I think it is. I do. I like it. Obviously, I live here, so I have to say that. But no, I do. I find it softer than like maybe an Essex accent. Which I find those.
Yeah. Definitely.
Not in a bad way. It's just that's very harsh and very.
And you might know this. Do I sound northern? You know, that northern accent.
Yes, you do.
Do I sound northern? Oh,
okay.
I didn't think I did, but okay. I quite like that. I'll take that.
Said, Michelle said, "Keep talking, honey." All right.
That's what I'm here for.
She said, there's Christine. Hi, Christine at Side Street Market. Thanks for stopping in. I know you busy lady, honey. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so we're going to have Corey start to tell us a little bit about himself. Corey?
Over to me. Okay.
Over to you.
So my name's Corey, and I own Vanishing Point Records, which is in the centre of Chesterfield in Derbyshire. And I've been open for, I think, 4.5 years. It's like, because we're still quite young here at Vanishing Point, I'm still using the halves. And it's like when you're a child and you say, oh, I'm 3.5, 4.5. I can't quite say we're 5 yet, but we're 4.5 years old here at Vanishing Point. So I've been doing that for 4.5 years. And before that, I spent 23 years working at a chartered accountancy, doing the 9-to-5 thing. And eventually I just got bored of that. And I thought there's got to be something. And not that I didn't enjoy it or anything like that. And there were some great people there in my old sensible day job, as I call it. Yeah, I just thought there's got to be something else I could do that I really enjoy. And I've always enjoyed music. So I sort of handed my notice in, had to serve 3-month notice of my job, and then got out there. And I had no clue what to do whatsoever. I didn't have I didn't have any ideas or anything like that, but I just knew I couldn't work in accountancy for any longer. So the only one thing I knew I did want to do is I wanted to walk across Spain. So I I went to started in the French Pyrenees mountains and kind of walked along a path called the Camino de Santiago, and it's a path that goes right across northern Spain to the northwest coast, or a town near the coast called Santiago de Compostela. And I walked that. It took me about 6 weeks in 2 separate chunks because I got ill halfway through and I had to come home, and I went back and finished it off.
Oh my God.
And I did that, and somewhere along that path, not quite sure where it happened, but I got the idea that I'll open a record store. This is what I'll do, because I love music and I've always been obsessed with music. I had records, I had tons of CDs, so I thought I'll open a record store. And then I just went about it. And the day I got back actually from Spain, because I got this idea fresh in your mind, and I thought I've got to act on this now. And I rang the council up and said, I want to open a record store. Like, what properties have you got available? And the girl on the phone in the department said, it's funny you should say that, because I've just put the phone down on somebody who wants to get out of their contract early. Can you go down and see this property? So I did, and then signed up as quick as I could and got that first property. That was in February 2017. And 2 years after that, I had to move to this current one because I ran out of room in that other one. So I moved into a bigger property next door to your friends and mine, Urban Flamingo.
Yeah, I remember when you moved to that, because it used to be the other lady had it with the children's clothes.
Yes, that's right. Yes. So yes, and she moved out, and then Urban Flamingo kept saying to me, you know, this shop next to us here looks like it would do well as a record shop. And I was like, yeah, but I don't really want to move. I could do with moving, but I don't really want to. It's a hassle. And then I came to have a look at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're right. It would make a cracking record store. So yeah, and it's got 3 rooms. I only had 1 room before. And it's got like a little lounge area at the top where I put on little gigs as well. So it's got like a little stage area in there. So it's perfect for it. So yeah, did that, 2 years ago, I think, 2.5 years ago. And that's where we find ourselves today. Yeah. So we had a year off because of COVID virtually, but yeah, it all looks good. We should be okay business wise. It's kind of bounced back really well. So yeah.
You actually have done really well since you've opened back up.
It's funny because like I say footfall is probably still down. There's not as many people coming in as there used to be. But at the end of the week, at the end of the month, like business is always the same. It's always good. So I tend to think spending's gone up from individuals. But then today it was really busy. It were like I looked in and there was like loads of people in here. So I think it's doing all right. Like quite pleased. Yeah. So
it's
good. Really good.
Oh, yeah. We have a few more people come in. Send me Cheetos. I see is here. That's Dave, y'all. That's my husband, Dave, if y'all see stuff. Katie Sunshine. Hi, Katie Sunshine. And Punk Funk Junk Barbie. Hey, girl. How you doing? So that's interesting that you walked across Spain.
Yeah, which was the best thing I've ever done. It was fantastic. It's the best thing I've ever done, and the hardest thing I've ever done, and the stupidest at times. And it's just like it's just fantastic. I've met so many people doing it who are still friends to this day, or from all over the world as well. I met like people from the States, from Canada, from Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Spain, France. There's just like loads of people doing it all the time. And the way it works is there's loads of hostels along the way. So you set off from a town called St. John Pied de Port in the Pyrenees Mountains. And you walk along this path, essentially. And it's one path. You get some alternative routes you can go on every now and again. But it's one path. And you've got hostels like every 20 miles or so along the way. So what happens is no 2 people really walk at the same speed. So you just tend to have like maybe 1 or 2 people every night you recognize, but it's like new people all the time you're meeting. And because you've all got the same ailments, because you're all walking, so you've all got like blisters, like you're all tired and all that sort of stuff. So you've all got the same like thing in common. So it doesn't matter where you're from. I met lawyers and like people in the music industry, actors, actresses, that kind of stuff. And like everyone's the same. It doesn't matter what you do, because like you're sleeping in the same cheap bed every night in some cheap hostel in Spain, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fantastic. And then every night you all get together, have a meal, drink some wine, and have some home cooked food at a hostel. It's just like fantastic. The only downside is having to go to bed every night and knowing that every day for the best part of 6 weeks you've got to walk about 25 miles every day, which is
yeah. I mean, I guess by that time you're like, yeah, I'm prepared for it, you know.
Yeah, you start off and you put the backpack on the first day and you think, well, I can't carry that like 5 feet. That's ridiculous. I can't do that. And then like second day, it's a bit lighter, mainly because you've thrown a few things out that you didn't need. and then you're getting a bit stronger as well. And a month into it, you're feeling really strong. And you can, like, it doesn't matter. You don't feel it. It's fine. But I got about, I think 4 weeks into it, I got salmonella food poisoning. So like, I had a spaghetti carbonara one night, and you know when you wake up and you know, like, oh no,
you know when you know.
Like, oh no way. So I was in a hotel for a few days trying to get over it, and it wasn't going to happen. So I had to come home, and I lost a load of weight, and came home recovered. And then I went back, and I found the exact point on the road where I got into a taxi to take me to a train station, and just turned around and finished the walk off. So it took me about another 2 weeks.
That's good. You finished it, though. I mean, that's great.
Oh yeah. And I took a mate back. Last year, did we go? We just went back just for a few days. Didn't have long off work, so we had about 3 days off work, and went to Spain and just did the last 3 days of it again, just to like give him a taste of the Camino, and also me kind of keep my eye in, because I want to do it again one day. I really, I can't wait. But it's like getting 6 weeks off. I can't close the store for 6 weeks.
That's the problem, unless you hire someone.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I see Book Bewitched come in. Hi, Book Bewitched, Joanne Johnson, and Diane Williams from Texas. So am I. And we have wonderful accents. Just kidding. She said, I have an accent. Yeah, we do. So Jazzy wants to know, was the trail that you walked very mountainous?
Yes, the first day especially. So you start, if it's a town in the Pyrenees Mountains, so the very first day you start off in France and you leave this town and you go up for, like, I'd say the best part of 15 miles, and that is slowly going up one of the trails in the Pyrenees Mountains, and then you get to the top at the end of that first day, which is I went in April and it was still snowing on the end of that first day. It was ridiculous. It was we were like scrambling up hills on the first day. It was stupid, and we ran out of water. We were actually having to eat drink freshly fresh snow just to stay hydrated. It was ridiculous. So we did that, and then that's the end of the first day. You kind of stay at this hostel at the top of the Pyrenees. And then 2 hours into the second day, you've crossed into Spain and you're going down. And then in a couple of days' time, you hit Pamplona, which people might know of. It's like where a lot of the bullfighting used to go on. Ernest Hemingway spent a lot of time there, and he's there, and that's quite good weather there. So you go from like being in this mountainous, snowy conditions to being in a red hot like Spanish city within a couple of days. But yeah, it starts off mountainous, and then you've got maybe 1 or 2 days on major hills to scale across the whole country. But if you like, I'd never been to northern Spain before, but you get the coast at the top, and then you've got a mountain range that's parallel to that, just below it. You're kind of like walking underneath this mountain range the whole way, and occasionally you just have to go over a little bit of it. So it's but by the time you do, you're quite strong, so it doesn't really
you're like, okay, by then you're like, I can do this.
Yeah, and I'm better going uphill actually. I got injured going downhill because you kind of put more pressure on your legs, and you kind
of slide as well.
Exactly, yeah, and you can strain your ligaments in your knees really easily. So going up is, I find, as long as you go slow enough, it's a bit easier for me. But everyone's different.
Yeah. Dave said he's too old to be walking them now. So Dave said he's his whole paragraph. He's like, basically, he's too old, and we're not doing that. So My other
Yeah,
question,
it's not a beach holiday. It really isn't a beach holiday.
we,
Don't
we
you know?
live
It's
in
not relaxing in the slightest. I wouldn't recommend it if. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, when did you discover your love of records? Clearly, you loved them prior to going on this trip, and this trip you kind of had almost like a like a revelation, like this I'm going to do. Like
Yeah. I had records when I was like 3 or 4. I remember having a little record player. And now I should for context I should give my current age, which is 45. I think it is. I lose track now. So when I was 3 or 4, I had a little record player. And the first record I ever bought was Pinky and Perky, those like singing cartoon characters, who were their version of Yellow Submarine, which wasn't a patch on Ringo's, in my opinion. No, but yeah, it was my first record I bought, and I always bought records. And I went away from records in the '90s when CDs was the thing. Yeah, but like for certain bands and certain artists, I would buy the CD and I'd buy the record even though I didn't have a record player. And I don't know why, I just did it. It was just out of habit, I think. And I love holding records. I love how like they feel and how kind of just the feel of them, how they look and the artwork and everything like that.
I actually like the sound. People go, "Oh, I don't like the sound." I love the sound of the crackling. I call it bacon frying. Sounds like
definitely. Definitely, there's certain styles of music that you actually need that in it. You couldn't really have an old jazz album or an old soul Nat King Cole thing or anything like that, and it sounded perfect. You want that crackle. You want that kind of that feel to it. Definitely,
it's necessary to the whole sound, the whole. Because they, I don't know. I think when they made music to be produced onto vinyl, you kind of knew that was going to happen. There was no this perfect sound.
Yeah, there was no pretense about it.
Right,
and then CDs came around, and of course there was, because they said that it's going to be an absolutely perfect sound.
Yeah. Not unless
well, I don't really like CDs. I buy them.
Yeah.
And I bought them a lot, but I don't really like them. I kind of like the packaging. They feel all right, but not quite for me. It's
also the art on the album covers.
Yes, exactly.
Where you don't get that on a tiny CD.
And in the '70s, and late '60s and '70s, when you had like particularly in psychedelic and prog music, you'd almost have like bands trying to outdo themselves with the covers, and you'd have all these like mystical worlds and creatures going on in the covers. It's like it's fantastic. It's like
amazing.
as much thought goes into the art.
So Dave had a question. He Semi Cheeto says, "Have you ever met any famous recording artists?"
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've purely by chance most of the time, but yeah, I've had. I guess it's like define famous, I guess, but I've had some of like some people I known from music back in the '90s that have come and played in my store now. So there was a guy in a band called the Blue Tones who were pretty big in the mid '90s. Had a few big hit albums and singles, and Mark Morris, the lead singer from them, came and played in my store I think 2 years ago, which was like quite bizarre, really. Because I'm thinking, I know you from Top of the Pops, and now you're in my Vanishing Point Records.
You're in my lounge.
Exactly. Yeah, you're more than welcome. But then, I've met like a few people. I'm like my huge like hero musically is Bob Dylan. I've seen him like 40 odd times in concerts all around the world, and I wouldn't consider myself a huge fan either. There's people far worse than me on the Bob Dylan front, but accidentally I met Bob Dylan in Stirling in Scotland on Friday the 13th of July 2001. Purely by chance, we met him outside Stirling Castle. And
the anniversary's coming up tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but July. Yeah, no.
A month ago. It was 25 years. Yeah, I think was it 25? Yeah, 20. Oh, 20 something.
2001.
24. What year are we in now? I don't even know what year we're in.
Never mind. Weren't you an accountant? Hang on.
Yes, that's why I left.
Okay, I have another question. Pat Robinson. Would you say vinyl is back in a big way? I would say yes.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is. I think it's been gradually making more money than CDs every year. So CDs were still outselling it per unit for a number of years, even though records have been making more profit on the bottom line for the record companies for about the last 10 years, I think it is. But last year was the first year where records actually started outselling CDs per unit. So there was more people going into record stores and leaving with records than there were CDs. So I think the thing that people liked about it was when it was big in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s into the early 90s. The people didn't want to get rid of it. They were perfectly happy with it. It was the
Right.
actual business itself who wanted the CDs because they wanted something that was smaller that they could fit more of in their stores and in their like distribution houses, and would be cheaper eventually. So they
Yeah.
pushed it. They wanted it. The fans were kind of quite happy with records, and there was a whole like herd of people who just kept buying records, and then could also find them at like thrift stores and in charity shops, as we call them here, and
Mhm.
flea markets and things like that. They could pick up amazing bargains for years. And those
Yeah.
guys now, who kind of like cursing us record shop owners who have decided to get back into this business, who because they can't get that kind of stuff now on flea markets
Right.
in Chester,
Exactly.
really.
You can't. No, there's no, 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 no. You
Yeah,
cannot.
because we get it all now. We pay for it, so it's like yeah. So yes, it is. It really is back, and believe it or not, cassette tapes are coming back as well. It's a bit more gimmicky,
I read
but
that.
they're back.
I read that. Yeah.
So many artists are they'll release a record if they can afford it because it is quite expensive to get a record pressed. They'll release a CD because that's quite cheap to do. But even cheaper and something you can do at home if you want to is you can make your own cassette tapes. So cassette
Yeah.
tapes are coming back as well. And I know loads of artists who do cassette tapes.
How many
Um,
mixtapes did you make? I made
oh
mixtapes.
yeah, loads, loads. Oh, I think I threw mine away though. I don't think
Oh
I've
yeah, I
got.
don't have mine anymore, child.
They might be in a garage somewhere, but I think I threw mine away.
Jazz Dia says her first record was Sean Cassidy. Oh, he was hot. Yeah.
That's is Sean Cassidy. Is that like is
There's
it country
David
rock?
Cassidy. No,
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
David Cassidy and Sean Cassidy. Sean Cassidy was a younger brother, and he was he was kind of pop rock, yeah, like pop rocks. It was pop. It
That's
was
the thing.
poppy rock. It was. I don't think it was country. I wouldn't have said it was country. Kind of like Donny Osmond ish.
Okay, yeah. So
Leaf
yeah,
Garrett. Do you know what I mean? The little teen idols back in the day.
yeah,
I am so
yeah,
in my
yeah, yeah.
damn age talking about Leaf Garrett.
Leave go.
Yo,
I know that name. I wouldn't know. I know
he's
that name. I've seen it. I've seen a record in here.
oh, I'm
But I
sure
know.
you have one. And yeah, I my first record was BJ Thomas. Oh, what's it called? Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Oh, okay. Now, was he kind of a soul singer as well? Like a bit of a soul country thing, was it? Or
Yes, yes.
so I saw that record in a record shop in Bergen, Norway, a couple of years ago, and I was talking to this old elder gentleman came in my store last year, I think it was, and we were chatting music for ages. And then he said, "Oh, I used to manage a few artists. I actually managed. You ever heard of Rod Stewart?" I went, "Yes, I've heard of Rod Stewart." He goes, "Well, I used to manage him in his early days." And he's like, "Oh, I also used to manage a fellow called BJ Thomas." And I
Yeah,
said, and for some reason, I'd taken a photo of this album in that because I kind of I like the cover, so I took a photo of it when I was in Norway. And I said, "What, this one?" He goes, "Yeah, that's him. I used to manage him." I'm like,
oh my
"Ah,
god, that was my first ever record. Um, oh, Martha's was Alice Cooper. School's Out. She was.
nice. That's cooler. Yeah, yeah, that wins. Yeah, that wins."
I mean, I was only a little kid when I my first album, but after that, all my albums after that were Beatles.
Okay.
And remember, they're before my time. I was born in '68, so they were pretty much broken up by the time I came around.
Yeah.
But the reason why I even knew them was because we used to get cartoons, the Beatle cartoons in the
Yeah.
States, and I used to watch them. So
And
that's
those
how.
films as well. Those films were ace. Those Beatles films.
So yeah, so he I loved, and then the Kinks. The Kinks were my next. Are my next.
Ooh, where's my King? I've got an old Kinks one here somewhere. I picked it up a couple of weeks ago. Oh,
For me.
old collector, old Kinks record. I've got a
Yeah,
copy of
for me, right?
something else by the Kinks.
Yes, that's a good. That's a good album. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually quite pricey now as well. Yeah, it's a
So,
bit of a. Have you still got a copy, Dolores?
not of the album, no.
Oh,
I have a
you,
CD.
if you had
But
the
I
record,
know.
you could be a millionaire.
I wish, yeah, I could be, but she's sitting over here in Clay Cross, so she's not a millionaire. um, so now you also do radio.
Yes, do I? So when I opened in 2017, I opened on a Friday, and then on the Saturday, this fella comes in the store, and we just got chatting, and he said. He bought a record or two, and we were chatting, got along with him, and he said, "Oh, you should like come on. Like, I kind of run a radio station. It's only small, but I
I
run a
run
radio
a
station."
radio station. I mean, I kind of run a radio station,
I
kind of,
know,
sort of.
yeah. It's like it's a little affair. Yeah, based in Matlock, but you should come on. And I was like, when you agree to something and you say, yeah, I'm sure it'll never happen, but
Sure.
I'll come on one day, yeah. And then he left, or he was planning on leaving, I think, and I can't quite remember how it went, but at like a couple of days' notice, he said, "You know that thing what you said you wanted to like do a radio show on our station?" I was like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Do you want to do it in 2 days' time, and we'll get going?" And
Sure.
I had all the equipment because I kind of like I've kind of got like a load of equipment in my home studio. It's like not because I kind of used to make a bit of music, so I've got all the stuff, and you just kind of configuring it a different way, and you can make a radio broadcast setup because they didn't have a studio at this radio station. It was called Radio Free Smedley Street, which was a street in Matlock.
Smedley Street.
I know it's quite long-winded. So then, kind of like I agreed to it, and I started doing shows, just thrown in at the deep end, making radio, and it was like a bit nerve-wracking, but it's really good fun playing music to people. It's really good fun. I loved it. And then all of a sudden, he decided to leave the station, and there was two or three of us left, and we kind of had the decision to, okay, well, do we just like throw it aside, let it go, or do we try and give it a go? So we decided to try and give it a go, and we got a little team of people making shows, and we've just gradually like grown that. And if in the store, if I catch wind of anybody who's even faintly interested in radio or music, I'm like, oh, okay, want to make a radio show? Yeah, do you want to come to our station? And we've recruited no end of people like that. We've got a huge team of people now, all doing individual shows on the station. Now it's now called RFM, Radio Free Matlock, which is a bit snappier, a bit better. And and it's a really cool station. So it's kind of like if anyone's ever listened to Radio 6 music in the UK, it's kind of alternative music.
Yes.
But you can still play some classics. So if Fleetwood Mac turns up, it wouldn't be out of place. But we'll play like totally underground new music from artists we know that no one else has heard of, and it all kind of fits together.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool. So.
How would I get Radio Free Matlock?
So it's on the internet, so it's another internet radio station, but I call it the best radio station in the world. There you go. But yeah, if you go to www. Do people still do the W's now, or is that implied? Do we have to do that? I don't think we do we?
I don't think.
No, we don't. But I'll say it anyway. www.radiofree Matlock, and free is FREE, not three. So Radio Free Matlock. .co.uk, and it's a great website, and it tells you about all our like recurring shows on a monthly basis, and then every night of the week we've got a show called 6 o'clock live, which is 6 till 7, and then one DJ from a pool of DJs we've got will go live every evening to kind of kickstart the night, and I'm one of them. I tend to do Wednesdays really because it's my best day. After work. So yeah, we kind of do that, and it's great fun, and we've met so many great people by doing it, and there's the great team of people, and we're all we do it on a voluntary basis, and we're just like all of us to a man and woman are just music obsessives and just love finding new stuff all the time. And
But
it's
yeah, exactly. That's I used to love that back when I was back in my younger days. Back when I was a kid, I used to love this finding new bands. I just search and search and search,
yeah,
and I want to hear
yeah,
new stuff because you get tired of the same old stuff. Now, I mean, I'm not going to talk about today's music, but because I'm not. But so I have Michelle Newton's cupboard was AC/DC Highway to Hell. Mm-hmm.
tune, proper tune that.
Diane Williams was Herb Albert to Wait for Love. Still waiting, she said. He's still waiting, girl. Susan Ayers said Jimmy Fallon promotes vinyl for his singing guest.
Yeah, well, that kind of works. That kind of works as best on a show, doesn't it? Because if you've got somebody on, if you've got a CD, like waving a CD around on TV, it's a bit hard to see. But like if you get one of these on, it just looks much better on TV. So, yeah.
And I see Jay Goodwin's joined us. Hey, Jay Goodwin. Now, yeah, that's better. So, Dave, what was the rarest record you've come across?
It was. Let me. It will be an Eddie.
He's got the sound. You go because I can't hear.
He's got the sound turned up.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
He's
all right.
Go ahead.
It's all right. It'll be an Eddie Cochran single, and it was a Spanish pressing of this single, and it was a pressing that didn't get done in the UK. So for some reason, they brought it out on a Spanish market, on a Spanish label, and released over there. And there wasn't a US copy, there wasn't a UK copy, there wasn't another European copy. It was only in Spain, and they just kind of figured, oh, no one will be interested in that. So they didn't do it. But of course, like with an artist like Eddie Cochran, there are Eddie Cochran obsessives. And so there are people out there who like any like unusual pressing, because there are people who just collect things because of the label. Like it's people get quite obsessed with collecting everything artists have done, and Eddie Cochran falls into that category. And so I got this single, which it's the most money I've ever spent on a record. I spent £250 to buy this single because I knew it would be worth more than that. So it was a bit of a risk, but I knew it was worth more than that. So that was the rarest, and I don't think I'll ever see that again. I looked at the stats on it and the worldwide stats, and no one else had a copy that they were willing to sell when I had mine. So I don't think I'll ever see a copy of this again. But I sold it for like a lot more than I bought it for. Yeah. So that remains the rarest thing I've ever seen. And it was nice I'm quite happy just owning it for a few months. I'm quite happy just to know that I had it. I like that. I'll buy stuff just because I think it's pretty, just so I can sit it on the shelf for a bit and stare at it.
Much like vintage reselling, where
exactly.
I like this item. I'm going to keep it with me for a while, and then I'm going to pass it on to someone else.
Exactly. That's what I do. Because I don't buy records for me anymore. I don't need to, because like I like streaming. I do like streaming. I will listen to streaming.
Yeah.
I will also listen to records. I'm perfectly happy finding a record and just owning it for a few weeks and then passing it on to someone else to their forever home. That's fine. But yeah, I don't mind. That's fine.
Hang on a minute. My cat just opened the door, and I can.
Which cat's this then?
This is a regular fun show, y'all. Hang on.
I want to see the cat.
No. All right. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Oh, you should be entertaining them, Corey.
Right. So should I do a song then?
Yeah, song, Corey. Sorry,
y'all. I'll play the spoon. Where's the spoon?
Cats, husbands, everything going on over here. Okay.
Are you sure we can't see the cat?
She just went out now. She comes.
Okay.
So it's Dave. Just to explain everything. Just Dave's in the next room watching. Okay, which is fine. But then he couldn't get his chat back up, and that's what he was asking me. Where's my chat? Because he's not
Okay.
YouTube. He's not YouTube ready. And then the cat comes in, and then this cat. I'm like, y'all need to calm down. Everybody needs to calm down.
And I suppose I should just finish the radio story because there is a link to it. There's a link to the T-shirt you're wearing at the moment. So we threw a RFM Christmas party 2 years ago, and there was this lad there who came with his girlfriend, and he was wearing a purple velvet suit, and we were all like, "I've got to chat to him." He comes to a party wearing a vintage purple velvet suit. He's like, he needs to be talking. We're gonna discover this guy, and he's called Martin, and we all discovered he was a fantastic artist, and I started badgering him straight away, saying, I want you to do some work. I want you to do some work for my record shop. And he wouldn't do it for a while. He wasn't in the right space to do it. But then he showed me like stuff he'd done in the past, and it's this wonderful psychedelic kind of style, like old 70s psychedelic, almost like the old movie posters kind of style he did. And eventually, like during lockdown, he rang me up and said, like, I'm ready to do some work for you if you want to. And I'm like, yes, definitely do it. And within a few days, he presented that design you're wearing on the T-shirt to me, and I absolutely loved it. And immediately turned it into some T-shirts and tote bags and anything else that it will go on to.
Yeah, for sure.
Slip mats, and they have been like so popular. People love it. Yeah. I've never known people come in and buy a tote bag before. But people just come in like
I bought a T-shirt. I just walked in.
People love it. I love it. I think I stared at it for the best part of a week afterwards. I loved it.
I love this T-shirt. I wear it all the time. Yeah,
it's so intricate, the design as well. Like there's so much going on in there. Yeah,
it's very. I like that because it's just so busy, and I like busy.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like to. Sorry, you're going to talk.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the only criteria I gave him, I said it's got to have Vanishing Point Records on it, and it's got to have a vinyl record on it somewhere, and sort of like vaguely like be like a Vanishing Point, like the artistic movement Vanishing Point. And then he presented that to me, which is superb, and I'm wearing one as well today.
Yay! Corey's got his on, yeah. So I have Jay Goodwin wants to know: do you collect electronics like vintage turntables or anything like that?
Well, I was going to say no then, but then I actually realised I have got quite a lot of old vintage equipment knocking around. I've got an old dual record player, which is a German record player from I think the late 70s. That's mine. That's mine for the store. And then I've got an old Technics amplifier that works with that. I've got some lovely old vintage wooden speakers, which are just gorgeous. Lovely kind of warm sound comes out of them. And then I've got a listening station up in the top bit of the store. And I can't really show you because the camera is wedged into position at the moment. Might fall over if I touch it. I've got an old Technics sort of MIDI system as a listening station, so people can get their own records and go and listen to them if they want to. And then I've got another old stacking system, which I've hooked up to an iPod up in the lounge, and that plays my iPod, but it can also play CDs and get like old FM radio on it and AM radio as well. So I've got a number of old kind of like bits from the 70s and 80s. Nothing really vintage. I've not got any like gramophones or anything like that, but I would like one. And I love I would love a jukebox in here, but
God, with the record playing jukebox, the one that plays.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Oh, that would be the dream.
Okay, we're all gonna have to have a GoFundMe for Corey to get.
That'd be so cool, then. A proper old jukebox.
So I guess the answer, Jay Goodwin, was yes.
I think I do. I was going to say no, but I do. Yeah, I do. Kind of have like lots of stuff lying around.
And Diane Williams, we were just talking about this before we came on, that buying the albums for the jacket, the art on the jacket covers.
Oh,
we had this conversation. Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're a music person, and I think we've all done it, but the amount of times I've gone into a record store not known a thing about the artist I'm buying, but I just fell in love with the cover, or I liked the look of like some of the track names or something like that. I've like so many times I've done that with CDs, with tapes, with records. I do it all the time. It's yeah, it's part of it. It isn't. I think for some people, music is just like an experience in your ears. But I
Yeah.
think for a load of us, it's just a bit more than that, and it is the music that is important. But it's like the whole package. It's reading the lyrics in the inner sheet as well. It's everything.
Hang on. Hang on. He's got to find live chat. There you go. Okay.
No, that's me. Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, technically challenged here. It's fine, y'all. Hi, Maria. Empty nesting too. So it's just Dave has never been on live chat before, y'all. So he's like figured it out, and we're all here to learn together. You know,
Absolutely.
here to
I
help each
don't
other.
know. This is my first time on live YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing here. It's
I'm not sure I know what I'm doing, child. So another thing I wanted to ask you: what is the oldest record? The oldest record you have sold or found or
yeah. Well, I kind of like I guess I've got lots of the old 78s. So the old 78s one, they weren't done on wax. They were kind of done on that old shellac kind of like style, very brittle kind of um, I don't know composite stuff.
right.
But I've got loads of those, but you can't really sell those. There's no market for it. So I've got loads of those hanging around, and they're kind of like from the 40s and the 50s. I guess the oldest record I've got as in vinyl record, I sold a Miles Davis one, which I've forgotten the name of it now. It wasn't one of his major big ones. It was a very early one.
I love Miles Davis, but go ahead.
Oh, yes, same. Yeah, absolutely. It was very early. I think it was 1957 that I got a copy. And to be fair, it was in pretty poor condition. It was pretty scratched. The cover was gone, as in it was all buffed up and it didn't look
Right.
great. But no one had a copy, and I got this copy, so it was a pretty roughed up copy. So it didn't go for huge money or anything like that. But I think that was probably the oldest vinyl record I've sold. So about Miles Davis, I was hoping when I was talking the name would come to me, but it didn't happen. But yeah, it was Miles Davis, which is like I would say it's probably the biggest seller since I opened in here. Miles Davis, like of all, it's like really popular.
Also, John Coltrane is pretty good too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anything like that, it's like that's kind of like a new thing to me, jazz. My dad played it like when I was younger, and I wasn't really bothered, but it would be like background stuff, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah,
And
you
then
just want to do it.
yeah, and then but gradually, I'm quite into that. I don't like the big band stuff, but I love Miles Davis. I could just listen to that all day. It's so kind of emotive and evocative. It's like I love it.
Yeah, I didn't get into jazz till I was an adult, way into adulthood. Trust
Yeah.
me, I wasn't listening to it as like 15 and 16. I wasn't, it wasn't, and it just, there's something about it that takes you to a place when you listen to it.
Definitely. I just think sometimes if I don't usually work Sundays in the store because Chesterfield on a Sunday is not that busy. But if I do, what I tend to do if I'm in on a Sunday morning, I always tend to put a jazz album on just in the background, and it just fits that kind of Sunday morning feeling really well.
Exactly.
Doesn't it? Like Kind of Blue, Miles Davis, or I Love Bitches Brew, which is a bit more kind of upbeat and a bit more funky. When he was going a bit like, I don't know, a bit crazy in his dress sense, especially as well. It was just like he stepped into a different kind of genre of jazz. But I love it all. There was that biopic of him on the film made with I forget the actor now. Is it Don Cheadle playing him? Might have been.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But really, really interesting. I didn't realize he's a proper rock star. Miles Davis was. He was.
He was the original rock star.
Yeah.
I see Chicago lady Jeannie has come in. Hey, Chicago lady, how you doing, Jeannie? Yeah, I was probably in my late 20s when I started listening to jazz, and it was just because I just was introduced to it by a friend. One moment,
Yeah,
please.
that's
Hold,
okay.
please.
Oh, please.
Hang on. I don't know what happened. There you go. Sorry, y'all. It's a learning curve for everyone. Go ahead. You ready now, Dave? She ain't going outside. Sorry, y'all. This is what happens when you come to my house. Everybody's gonna get involved.
That's it. We need the cat involved actually, but
He must see my cat. Well, she's over there. The kitten, because I have a kitten now, as well.
oh
So,
wow, dear.
you want to see it?
Oh yeah.
It has nothing. This has nothing to do with music, y'all. She's not
But
musically. My cat's not musically inclined. But hang on.
cats are my favorite.
Aw, and you love. Sorry, y'all. This is Lola. Hi, say hi to Uncle
Hi
Corey.
Lola. Oh, hello Lola. Oh,
That's my Lola. Hi,
have you got your
Lola.
claws out, Lola? Oh,
Yeah, better
mama.
not. There you go.
Oh,
Hi. That's Lola. So,
fantastic.
I also ask you. This is a funny question. And holiday records, yay or nay?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, why not?
Really?
I love I love Christmas records. I love them. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's great. Like in England, especially, I'm sure it happens everywhere, but on the run up to Christmas, when you
Yes.
hear all the standard Christmas records every year, I love it. Absolutely love it. I think they're great. I love a bit of cheese as well. I love.
There.
Why
Yes.
not? There's a place for everything. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. It's fine. Yeah, I think they're great.
I
Oh
do.
yeah.
I like. Oh God, what is his name, y'all? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. He does Christmas songs. Oh no, I was right there. Okay, I'll come back to it.
On the tip of your tongue, it'll come out when you least expect it.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Olive Jones. No.
Oh, I can't think of his name. Oh my God. Um,
Are you going
Never
to
mind.
say Michael Bublé?
No. Way older. He's been around
Nat,
for years.
Nat King Cole?
No, well, no, yes, Nat King Cole, I do love. No, not. It's not Andy Williams or Perry Como. It is. Oh, he's from Texas.
Oh,
Oh, hang on, yeah.
oh.
Let me
I
see.
can't. I can't Google it for you because I'm using my
I
phone
know.
to look it up.
Anyway, but yeah, I do like Christmas album. But there's like you get the Christmas albums. It's just an album of Christmas.
Yes, I like that. I don't buy it, but I like to listen to it every year, and they are really popular.
Do you sell
They-
them? That's what I was going to ask you.
oh
Are
yeah,
they popular in
absolutely.
the record
Yes,
store?
they're really popular at Christmas. Yeah, and especially if you get. Now, have I got one? I think the one people ask about every year is if you remember the Charlie Brown music. The Charlie Brown music was done by, is it Vince Guaraldi? And
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
that's my favorite.
that is a beautiful album anyway. But kind of that Vince Guaraldi, it's just like really nice holiday jazz. But people love it because it was the Charlie Brown music as well. I don't think I've got a copy anymore. I did have one. I've got some Charlie Brown soundtracks, but
Do you
um,
really? On
yeah,
vinyl?
yeah. I've got a Peanuts one. Yeah,
Oh my God.
I'd run off and get one now, but I don't know where it is, so I might be some
No,
time.
that's fine. I just uh
Yeah, they're
Johnny
great.
Mathis. Dave got it. Johnny Mathis.
Johnny
Thank you,
Mathis,
Dave.
yeah, kind of like a bit soul-y, a bit like pop soul,
Yeah,
yeah, with a jazz twinge. Yeah.
Dave got it. I could not think of that man's name to save my life, y'all.
Well done, San Michitos.
Yeah, thank you, Simi Cheetos, for
Oh yeah, some good guesses there. Bing Crosby, it could have been them. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so sorry, I'm back now, y'all. I love Johnny Mathis. I don't know why, I just do. Hmm. But no, and Johnny Mathis was from Texas.
Really? Okay.
Yes, he was.
Okay. I've
So
no, I've only briefly been to Texas. It was the first place I ever went to in the States, as in I had a layover in Houston.
that's where I'm from.
So
Houston.
it was, yeah, I think it counts. I'm not sure, but it was
You
just
saw
like
the
a brief.
airport. You saw Intercontinental Airport. Okay.
Yeah. So I spent about 2 hours there in Houston, and I spent about 2 hours in Dallas once, and that was it. So, yeah, I do. Bob Dylan opens a museum of his own old artifacts that he's sold now to raise himself some more money, because obviously he's not doing well enough. So he is. There's a museum opening in, I think it's in near Nashville, or it might be Memphis. It's something like that. So we're half thinking, me and my best mate, who's also a Bob Dylan obsessive, we're already making tentative plans for 2022 to go over to wherever it is, Nashville or Memphis, wherever it is. But we've got to go and see that. So
yeah, Johnny Mathis was from Texas, and also here's another interesting story. Johnny Nash, I can see clearly now.
Yes,
he was from Houston, Texas.
There we go.
He had his own black rodeo before he passed away. He had a whole. It was, and I knew it was right off Alameda, and he had a rodeo set up there, and it was a black rodeo for black cowboys.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was amazing. Wow. He was an amazing singer, and he was amazing. He did a lot of good in the community, and he used to.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've seen some. I've got some Johnny Nash stuff, I think, somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because people thought he was from Jamaica or like the Caribbean. I was like, he's not. He's from Houston, Texas.
Yeah, but some of his music did have that kind of similar kind of sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It did have that flavor, but he's also from Houston. And also, here's another fun fact, music fact, y'all. So way back in the day, Genesis singer Phil Collins.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard a few things, So Phil Collins, for whatever reason, had loads of Alamo artifacts. I don't know where he got them from, but he had a lot of artifacts from the Alamo. I don't know if he got them off the black market or whatever. He bought them. He then turned around years later and donated them back to the Alamo.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
And he's been made an honorary Texan.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I've never been that keen on Phil Collins, but you might be starting to change the tide there. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice story. Well done, Phil.
It's a good Something in the Air Tonight is a good tune. You have to admit.
That's true. That's true. Maybe I'm gonna have to reconsider my feelings on Mr. Collins.
Yeah, Dave said I can't get my head around the fact that ABBA and musicals are his favorite things. Dave loves musicals and ABBA.
What have I done? There we go. Sorry, I keep going dark on the screen. There we go. Dave likes ABBA.
I know.
He's with the cool kids then. He's with the cool kids. ABBA I get a lot of requests from my younger clientele, like asking me about what ABBA records have I got. If I put an ABBA record out, it won't last long. It always goes. So he's obviously onto something, Dave. You like the ABBA? That's it.
He also likes musicals, like
I can't help you there.
Like Oklahoma. Oh, you don't have any musical albums?
I do actually. I have got quite a few of those, but I can't get rid of them. They're
come and buy them all. No.
Dave, you can have a deal on me. I suppose I could show you some records from some of my friends who have released stuff, and maybe people would like to check them out and see see if they like their music. So the guy I went to see last night in concert, he's from Derby originally in England, but he actually works and plays as a singer-songwriter in Nashville, and he's called Josh O'Keefe. He's from Derby, and he's like a young Bob Dylan, that kind of early kind of acoustic protest singing folk singer Bob Dylan kind of era. And Josh is like that. So Josh O'Keefe, so he's from Nashville. He's currently on a UK tour. He played in Derby last night, where I got to see him. He's played in the store before as well. Really nice lad. And yeah, so if you like folk music, might be worth checking out. Check him out. One of my other friends, Katie Spencer, kind of like, there we go, that one there. If you can see that. There we go. It's Katie's last album called Weather Beaten. You can find her on Spotify and all that kind of business, and on YouTube as well, I think. Katie's kind of like, It's still folk music, but it's a bit more kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
And she's a wonderful guitarist as well. And I don't know if you've heard of John Martin, but it's kind of like it's quite
Yeah.
down tempo and kind of chilled out folk music. So she's inspired a lot by John Martin. And yeah, Katie's played in here as well, and she was the last concert I got to see before lockdown. So she played in the store, and then later
Before.
that night we all went to see her at in another place in Chesterfield late that night, and then that was the last gig before COVID. So we've got that. Oh.
What no one talking about is acting, Dave. What's the first? I said, don't no curse words, Dave. What's the first thing? Hang on. He's still. Let's see. I know you're fine. Yeah. He's just. Oh, there we go. Oh, nope.
Got a couple questions I want to ask.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Is Dave saying his favourite musical is Singing in the Rain?
Yes, that's his favorite musical.
I shall keep a lookout. I shall keep a lookout, and the second I find it, it is yours, Dave.
Yeah. So yeah. So he loves it. He's seen it thousands and thousands of times. But so who else do you have?
Okay, what else have I got? Okie dokie, what else have I got? So this is, I don't know if anyone likes electronic music, or kind of like this is a bit like a chill out album. It's by an artist called Yanni, who's based in Sheffield, and the album's called Borough. And a lad who comes into the store, a young lad, I think he's like 15 or 16 now, maybe. He's called Ben Marks, and I've known him for a few years, and he's a music obsessive, and he will make a classic album one day, I'm sure of it. But anyway, Ben Marks plays on this album by Yanni. He plays on a couple of tracks on it, and it's kind of like down tempo, kind of electronic music, but it's quite nice background stuff. So if anyone likes that kind of like chill out music or down tempo stuff, that's something that you probably won't have heard of, and is from an artist from where we're from. That's pretty good. And then I've got another one here, which is a really unusual album by my friend Max Hall, which is called Abstract Ithaca. And that's going to be really dark, so you can't see it. You can't really see the cover. It's a pretty cool cover.
Oh, yeah.
You might see that. Anyway, Max Hall, and he did this album, and it's only one track on side one track on side two. And it's made from 4 years worth of field recordings. So everywhere Max went, he'd take a little recorder with him, and he'd just like record little snapshots of stuff and little conversations and like trains and doors and horns and stuff like that. And he's made an album by splicing all these sounds together, and it's wonderful. It's something you can't just put on and listen to it for 3 minutes. You've got to listen to it in its entirety, which is about, I think, 50 minutes, both sides included. But it's superb. It's a really good journey. And when you think he just spliced it together by stuff he's just found over 4 years, of sounds he's just recorded from people in the street or anything. It could be anything.
That's pretty cool,
like,
though.
a wonderful thing. Yeah, it really is cool. Yeah.
And that's the great thing about like music. It doesn't have to be what you think it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it has to be this or it has to be that. It's your interpretation of what music means to you.
Absolutely. There's no rules. Yeah. Like, I think that's what's great about like the modern music scene, in that people don't make tons of money anymore out of it. No. If you're just like a smallish artist, but if you've got an idea, you can make it, and you can make it in your own bedroom, and you can put it out to the world on Bandcamp or on YouTube or on Spotify. It doesn't really matter. So like, don't think you're going to be a millionaire or anything like that, but you can make exactly what you want and get people to hear it as you want it. So, there's pros and cons. Like, people moan about the modern music industry, but there's like really upsides to it as well. And
I think the way it is now, it makes it easier for more people to be heard and more people to be appreciated, because you get bands that they couldn't make it because they didn't have this sound, or they weren't this sound of the 70s or this sound. Do you know what I mean? It's like you had rock and you had disco. Why couldn't you have them both? Why did it have to be like you had to pick one or the other?
Yeah, you can do it. A lad I know has made. He's just a lad at school, and he sent me his latest album the other week, and it's this wonderful, like, it's French house, which is a style of dance music. It's a bit like Daft Punk, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff they make. They're quite heavy on the bass lines, and he made this with his brother in his bedroom, and it's fantastic. It's brilliant. I played a track on the radio last week. It's really good stuff, and he just made it in his bedroom. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
like
Amazing that he can even do that.
yeah, I know. And then to get the idea and to like see, I've got a studio at home. Like I've got like not top of the range equipment, but I've got the stuff I need to make a record if I was any good at music, but which I'm not. But I've got the stuff.
Well. You have a recording studio next door to you. You can just go there.
Yeah. They have people wandering in there, all the time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's like the guys next to me now, they're more into hip and garage and grime and that kind of stuff. But yeah, luckily we've not heard it tonight because I was fearful that we'd be hearing the booming coming through later now, but we're fine.
You'd be all like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Corey. Well, thank you so much. We're at the top of the hour now. I appreciate you coming by, and I appreciate all you guys in the chat coming. Thanks so much for giving Corey support here, y'all. I have his link to his Instagram in my description. But what I'll also do after this video goes up, I'll put the link to the radio station. If you send me that link,
yeah, absolutely, yeah, definitely, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely.
And that link on Instagram, and then I'll go back and put it in this video, and then everybody can go and check out the radio station, which is from Matlock, England. You guys, you've got to hear a radio station from Matlock, England.
Just down the road here. Yeah, just down the road
from us. Yeah, thank you, Barbie. Thank you, Maria. Everybody else for coming by. Thank you, Jay Goodwin. Thank you, Pat Robinson. Thank you, Send Me Cheetos. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And we will see you on the next live Dolo Digs. You stay on, Corey. Don't come off yet. And I'm going to end this. So you stay there. And we'll see you later. Thanks, Joanne.
Yeah, thanks to everybody. Yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to you, Dolores, for inviting me on. It's been great fun.
Welcome.
And yeah.
All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.